You remember the Odyssey as monsters and storms, the Cyclops, the sirens, a man against the sea. But take the spectacle away, and what's left is the oldest, rawest story we have. A man trying to get home, and everyone who never stopped waiting for him. This isn't about war, it's about the quiet demons we fight on the way back to the people we love. When we meet Odysseus, he's already won. The war is over. He should be a hero, but he doesn't want glory anymore. He wants his own bed, his old dog, his wife's face. 10 years fighting, 10 more just getting back. 20 years of his life gone. You don't need a war to know that ache of being lost and just wanting to belong somewhere again. On a hidden island, a goddess named Calypso falls in love with him, and she offers him everything. Stay, and I'll make you immortal. No aging, no dying, paradise forever. All he has to do is forget. Forget home, forget Penelope. He stays 7 years, and every single day he walks to the shore and weeps, staring at the sea. We all have a Calypso, the easy exit that asks us to give up the thing we actually want. And he makes the choice that breaks you. He chooses to grow old and die as long as it's with her. Now meet the person who paid the higher price. Penelope doesn't get an adventure. She gets a house full of 108 men who assume her husband is dead, eating her food, pressuring her to remarry. She has no proof he's alive, none. So she buys time the only way she can. She says she'll choose a husband once she finishes weaving a burial shroud. And every night, in secret, she unravels what she wove that day, for 3 years. That's not cleverness, that's faith with no guarantee. Could you wait that long, in that much doubt, for someone who might never come back? There's a boy in this story too. Telemachus was an infant when his father sailed away. Now he's a grown man who has never once met him, who knows his father only as a name, a legend, other people's memories. He grew up in the shape of an absence. If you've ever missed someone you barely got to know, a parent, a person who left too early, this is your beat. Odysseus doesn't come home alone because he chose to. He comes home alone because everyone else died. Boat by boat, man by man, his entire crew is lost. All of them his responsibility. He's the one who made it. And carrying that is its own quiet demon, the guilt of surviving. Anyone who's ever asked, why me and not them, knows this weight. And then, the moment that has broken readers for 3,000 years. Odysseus finally reaches Ithaca, but in disguise, unrecognized, a stranger in rags. As he walks up, an old dog lifts its head. Argos, the puppy he raised before he left, now ancient, half forgotten, lying neglected in the dirt. 20 years. And that dog knows him instantly. The ears drop, the tail thumps once. Argos held on through 2 decades, just long enough to see his master come home. And then he dies. Odysseus has to turn away and hide a single tear. Here's the cruelty no one warns you about. You can finally get home, and home has moved on without you. Odysseus walks into his own house as a beggar. His wife doesn't recognize him. He has to prove he's himself, through an old scar and a secret only he and Penelope share. Their bed, carved from a living olive tree still rooted in the ground. Coming back changed to a place that changed too. That's the loneliest part of any long road home. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't the journey. It's being known again on the other side of it. So here's what the whole thing was really about. Odysseus didn't cross the entire world for an island. Ithaca is just rocks and dirt. He fought gods, refused immortality, lost everything and everyone. To get back to a wife, a son, a dog, a bed. Home was never a location. It was the people who make a place worth returning to. That's why this story has survived 3,000 years, and why Nolan's telling of it, shot on a scale cinema has never attempted, hits the same nerve it always has. Because underneath the monsters and the myth, it's just us, fighting our way back to the ones we love, hoping they're still there when we arrive. The Odyssey lasted 3,000 years because we all understand it. We've all been far from home. We've all waited on someone. So tell me, honestly, in the comments, who is your home? The person you'd cross an ocean for? Tag them. And if this story moved you the way it's moved people for 3 millennia, share it with the one you'd come home to.